Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a podcast and safe space for Black and marginalized creatives to empower, educate, and uplift you through the final product of self and creation. Bring a homie, share with a homie, and enjoy the show.
Hey y'all, this is a super explicit conversation because we are cussing. And just to be aware, govern thyself and sensitive ears, as you must. Even though I've seen the stats, y'all grown. But this is a really cool interview conversation. Just three creators sitting and discussing sort of the way we exist, move, and receive in the world. So thank you as always for listening. I know that audio right now is probably not the best. Some church announcements. If anyone is from Miami or has a favorite restaurant, mom and pop, that you can't find anywhere else, please submit a memory, poem, photo, art of your memory or anecdote of this mom and pop that is local to Miami, even Fort Lauderdale. So that's omiami.org/submit, and it will also be in the show notes. Have a great week, and don't forget that you are magic. Pas oublier où c'est magique. No te olvides que eres magia. Please take your time and listen to this week's episode.
People take lightly, the power of healing and the power not of just healing, but the power of your influence, which is a bigger discussion.
And attraction. I think that, sometimes we connect to people because we see somebody's light. And so, we see this safe space, and then it ends up being almost predatory mood. Almost predatory in the fact that it's like, I know that you aren't whole.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's a double-edged sword because it's like, I want you to complete me, but that was never anybody's job either.
Right.
Yeah.
And then making it your job, there's a danger and an arrogance there.
Right. And like you said, it's a double-edged sword because on one instance, I understand the feeling like you're not complete, but because of my lack of completeness, I have something to offer you because I've been there and I know what that looks like, what that looks like. But also the flip side of that is because you're not healed, you could be giving off something that I don't need as a part of my healing process. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you could be giving false information, and your intentions might be pure. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, you know what I mean?
They may start out that way, yeah.
They start out that way. Like you don't go into it thinking I'm gonna be a star, you know what I mean, or I'm gonna build my own platform. But I feel like sometimes along the way, ego it becomes the forefront of what you're doing rather than I have this gift, I want to share it with the world, I want to heal people. It becomes I have this gift and how can I, monetize off of it? You know what I mean? And not necessarily money, you know what I mean? But monetize, how can I
spiritually?
Yeah.
Energetically, physically.
Yeah.
I think it's so hard, and just from my own experiences, when you have someone who is a healer who comes from a broken background, because now you have all of these people who are affirming you in ways that you've never been affirmed before, and now you just like, oh shit, this is addicting. How can I get more of this? How can I get more of this? And I think that's when the ego kind of starts to come into play, and people become predators.
Yes.
And energy vampires, because now it's like you are giving me something that I've never gotten before.
Never had.
Mm-hmm.
You're affirming who I am. That, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I've never felt great, but you're telling me that I'm great, and you're almost worshiping me, so to speak.
Exactly.
And so that ego inflates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know,
that's how we get
oh,
cults.
That's yes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh wow. You know, and then before you know it, you done talked yourself into being the Dalai Lama. You know what I'm saying?
Get multiple concubines.
There are none greater. You know, there is none greater than I. It is I. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've done seen a lot of things, so yes,
it
definitely.
really happens. It really happens, and it's like, I get that where you started was a pure intention, but like you should have had there. We all need accountability partners. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Even in spirituality, for somebody to be like, look, you need to check yourself. You feeling yourself a little much. Now, not a hater. There's a difference, because there are haters that see you shine and be like, oh, you getting a little too big for your britches. Oh no, let me shine a little brighter because you missed it. But
facts.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody who genuinely
like, wait a minute, like, what is your why? Are you still on the road?
Yes, remembering your why. Like somebody who can kind of give that to you and be like, I know who you are at the core, and you wanted to start it out being as this. Now you're this, and I need you to check yourself in the most lovingly way possible. I need you to check yourself.
Oh wait, hold on, y'all too fine. I'm gonna put on something on my face because we recording.
My lipstick all,
but eyebrows is done though.
Oh, they are done.
You're right. You're right about that.
You're right, girl. You're right about the eyebrow. I ain't got no lip, but the eyebrows is on. They on. Okay, 1 second. I think I heard the door. That's my food.
Take your time. Take your time.
I think that was just the hunger talking, because that was definitely not the food.
No, that means they're coming. That means they're coming. They're around the corner.
I got the message saying we approaching, so when I hear any little bump, I'll be like, oh, that's my food. That's them. That's them right there. I
wholeheartedly agree. I think the problem is when you're surrounded by quote unquote broken people only.
And sometimes that's intentional too.
Yes. Speak on it. Speak on it.
That's intentional. Sometimes people surround themselves with people who are broken so they can feel needed.
Yeah. Whole and needed. You're right.
This is a whole topic. I literally posted something where one of my Facebook friends, and I told her, I was like, we need to have a conversation about this. You know, broken wing syndrome.
Ooh, say that.
So essentially, broken wing syndrome is when you seek out people who have issues. Oftentimes, people who suffer from like drug abuse or things like that. Malcolm and Marie, classic broken wing syndrome.
That damn thing, but I know it's
okay. But classic broken wing syndrome. He found a girl who was young, dumb, on drugs. Not dumb in the sense.
I've been a victim of this.
Yeah.
So yes.
And sometimes we're not only I've been the other side of that, you know what I'm saying? And not coming from a toxic place, but it reaffirms you because you need me, or I feel like you need me. And so now I'm not worried about my problems. I'm trying to fix you.
Take me to church.
And that's a whole other, you know what I'm saying,
I think
of it.
As you say that, I think of like I have been the sought out person, and then it turns into I'm the person seeking, and it turns into like two people kind of doing the same broken wing kind of syndrome and meeting each other.
Yep.
And so it's like it becomes a unhealthy bond.
Trauma bond.
That is so deep and so like passionate because we're both trying to save each other because we don't want to focus on saving ourselves. And so it's like we'll go through the toxic stuff. We will go through leaps and bounds to like build each other up and then break each other down because I still want you to need me.
Please go watch Malcolm and Marie.
I'm gonna go watch it. I'm gonna be triggered. I know I'm gonna be upset.
Please. People are trying to be like, oh, that's not what Black love is. It's not. This is not about Black love.
But there's layers to everything because historically we have been broken down.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's parts of Black love where we're still, you know, not everything is gonna be, you know, Rapunzel, bring down your locks, and I'm gonna come up. We're gonna be happily ever after. Like it's not always that. It's.
I just want to put out there that it focuses on the toxicity of it. Like there's of course they love each other, but where does it come from? You know what I'm saying? They built this trauma bond with one another, and you can see it in the way that they communicate. And so it's just very broken wing syndrome. I was like, this must be meant for me to discuss because, like, in so many places, it's been popping up. Even with the movie, with the post I posted in one of my friends was just saying, "Hey, I didn't realize till recently I suffered with BWS." I was like, "What? You really?" And she's like, "Yeah, I fell prey to that." You know what I'm saying? And being on the side of, you know, being with somebody who I feel needed me, and like. And then thinking, am I good enough to save you? And those type of things. But that, oh my God. That's a whole other conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. But yes, when you are a genuine healer, especially when you first discover it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are many times where you don't know what to do with it, and you kind of go to the people who you are close to and kind of, you know, you try to build a sense of community. But again, like you were saying, if you're around people that are already broken, you know, and broken and not seeking healing, they flock to you. Now you're Superman. You're going to take us to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes an ego trip. And how do we get to a point where even if I saw the light first, I don't want you praising me because I saw the light. Right. You know what I'm saying? How do we get there? My food.
I'm trying to think on that.
I've been actually discussing this in a way. And so there's something about being a healer that we don't realize is that I was waiting for
okay. You look so happy.
That's when you've been drinking and you want all the greasy food.
Yeah, I made like a very buttery you know, vegan butter, but like a very buttery pasta. Because I was like, I want something almost smothered in butter. And so I was like, all right, we got this little cashew.
One of my vegan days.
I was pescatarian today because I put salmon in it.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
Like a poke salmon, so it was like almost roasted and salted, and I was like, all right.
Okay, you're speaking to me.
I smothered spinach. I did like cooking with Italian grandma, and so she like said she put like nutmeg in her like butter or ricotta mix or whatever. So I started doing that with like my butter, and I put sage and basil in my butter.
Okay, look,
I was not playing.
I can't do it
myself. So that's why I damn near didn't even get here on time because I was like, this is delicious. But what I was saying, I was waiting for you. I think what we don't realize is you can be a healer all you want, but you have to realize that first you have to heal yourself. That's the first step of being a healer. It's not spiritually bypassing healing yourself to go say I could save everybody, because what superpower are you saving from?
Mm-hmm.
You have none. You're pretending that you know what you're doing.
Especially when oftentimes the people you're around have very similar issues.